Hello, welcome to Quackalope. Thank you for being here. Today we're bringing you a official gameplay from Warcrow Adventures, a brand new game, a brand new IP coming over to the Kickstarter marketplace. Follow the link down below. There'll be a way for you to check it out and dive in. West, Todd.
Yes.
You have read through the rulebook 17 and a half times.
It's a big rulebook, but it's not as bad as I was worried it was going to be. It's actually pretty decent.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's going on here? What are we doing?
So we are traveling adventurers. We're not murder hobos, but adjacent.
I'm okay with being a good murder hobo.
Yeah, it's good. And there's been a terrible murder.
Are we heroic murder hobos?
We're young murder hobos, so we're still kind of gaining speed in that murder hobo lifestyle.
Yep.
So we're going to find out. There's been some terrible things that have happened in this village, and
We'll tell you about it soon.
local establishment is gonna let us know. Yeah.
We're like amateur RPG adventurers going on a dungeon crawl to gain experience, level up our stats, and become the heroes we were always born to be.
Always wanted to be.
Yes.
Since little tiny heroes.
But at the moment, we're just a murderous pack of vagabonds that are doing our very best to solve the town's problem, whether or not we're on the winning or good side.
I mean, it's always good when you make the monies, right?
Oh, that's true.
That's what I've always been told.
That is true.
Yeah.
How do we actually play? Like, what's going on here? What do people need to know before we dive in?
So this is an app-based game. We're going to have a lot of time where we're going to be looking at this iPad here that will help us set up what's going on. There's some story element that will be given to us through the app. But there's also a lot of beautiful dice rolling that's going to happen. We're going to be able to adjust some of the things that happen inside the game by using energy cubes. It's a really interesting initiative tracking system as well, and I'm really excited to kind of showcase here. So I'm pretty excited about it. Okay. If you want to go ahead and get started, we'll begin the mission.
We can go ahead and dive in. We'll walk you through kind of how our characters play and stuff as we get into the game. And outside of that, we also are going to have a little standalone preview video that if you want a quick 8 to 10 minute rundown and breakdown of the game, you can swing over there and get a closer look. But this is just about us hanging out and having fun and playing a board game. West, Todd.
Let's get her done.
Let's start this.
Okay, so welcome to Warcrow Adventures, and now we will start our mission. Now, obviously, this is a demo copy, so this is the only scenario that we have available for us to play. The good news is, it's going to be entertaining. So, Lost Trace is the scenario that we're about to play.
Now, this is a prototype that we're working with. I'm not sure what their plans are in terms of voiceover, ambient music, anything like that.
Oh, this is
But
true.
we are working with a prototype and a demo app. So anything that's not here, please double check that Kickstarter page to determine for yourself whether or not it's going to be in the final product.
A cry in the night, one that no one heard or pretended not to hear. There are cruel people in this world.
Heartless people.
Who would not shy away from ripping an innocent child from the embrace of their family. But, alas, that's the way the two moons travel in the skies.
Or is it?
A child was abducted during the night after a violent squabble that left a corpse on the street, but no traces, tracks, or clues that might point towards the perpetrators. Although the child's family is heartbroken, the lack of solid evidence means there's little to nothing the local authorities can do. There was, however, a witness who claims to have caught a glimpse of the kidnappers through their window.
I saw monsters, they babble, and shaking from head to toe and crying in fear. Monsters! Lacking in both ideas and manpower, the council set out for a call to adventurers who might investigate this heinous crime, offering a reward for the child's return. It seems you're the only party willing to answer that call. With only scant details from the local guards, you decide the best course of action is to study the scene of the crime and maybe find evidence there that the authorities may have missed. Upon arrival, you find a lone member of the Hawthorn Point guard on watch, wearing a bleary-eyed expression of fatigue. No one has yet been to remove the body. The corpse lies nearby, a trail of blood smearing the cobbles behind it. What are you going to do?
Bleep.
And with that,
We begin our scene.
we start diving in. And as we begin our scene, I think it's only fair to introduce you to who we are playing. And a lot of you will be familiar with this because there is a video game, like I said. But for the people that aren't, let's get a little bit of background information here while Wes sets up. Zoska Izamun. For the record, I have never heard this name pronounced, so I am likely doing it wrong.
Highly likely, yes.
Zoka young when the fog arose and assails eastern border, and rival nations used the uncertainty provided by the fog to stake their claim on the island realm. Assigned to the Expeditionary Company 17, Soka and her companions were dispatched to what would eventually become known as Hawthorn Point. Their mission was to protect a band of cartographers and archaeologists that they hoped would claim those new lands for Mount Haven. After the armistice was signed, the Mount Haven detachments were not ordered to return home as expected, but instead were tasked with continuing their study of Assail, safeguarding the archaeologists and recording everything that befell them. The new territory offered many interesting possibilities that the lords of Mount Haven could not spurn. Soon, the campaign journals kept by Waela, the detachment's counselor, became the most complete repository of knowledge of the island's existence, detailing every expedition, battle, quest, diplomatic exchange over the course of several years. Carefully and painstakingly, the chronicles transferred from a set of field notes to the first gazetteer of the lands once affected by the fog. Though still young for a dwarf, years of fighting in hostile lands forced Zoka to grow up fast. Though the long campaign, Zoka proved to be the boldest of her companions. Her youthful energy never ceased to amaze the more seasoned warriors, but neither did her absent-minded nature, which sparked many a jest at her expense under the members of the company. They would often tell her the only reason she'd not misplaced her head was because it was attached to her shoulders, but Zoka shrugged off such remarks. For being on the front line of battle for so long creates a bond between soldiers that mere words cannot sever. Every dwarf in Company 17 was united by a deep sense of duty and camaraderie. They were family. One day, as they were returning to Hawthorn Point, Company 17 was engulfed by the fog. Never before had they witnessed the unnatural mists move in such a violent fashion. It fell upon them as if they were somehow alive. Zoka lost sight of her companions, and a high-pitched sound assaulted her eardrums. Something unseen tossed her around like a rag doll, while screams echoed from the fog, and flashes of light flickered before her eyes before she passed out from the pain. When at last she regained consciousness, she found herself facing the walls of Hawthorn Point, alone. Her comrades were gone, and what more, Waela's campaign book was lost. Zoka felt these twin tragedies more keenly than any physical pain, and it wasn't with great sorrow that she limped into Hawthorn Point. Days became weeks without word, and Zoka noticed that her own people now looked at her with suspicion, as if blaming her for abandoning her companions. Zoka wished she could share their fate, so she would not have to battle the shame and guilt that threatened to overwhelm her. As time passed, she began to give up all hope of redemption, until the day she heard of several adventuring groups planning to explore farther than anyone else had dared. They would brave the very regions where Company 17 had met their end. Committed to finding the companions, Zoka now seeks adventurers with whom to venture into the fog. If Company 17 is truly gone, then she must at least recover Waela's chronicles. For Zoka, failure is unthinkable. So that's who I'm playing. That's awesome. I love, for any of you new to this, I love story, world building, flavor text, the stuff that sets the foundation to what we're playing. We'll probably read yours in a little bit, but let's go ahead and start talking about what we're doing here with the app.
Absolutely. So the app tells us which pieces to put down on the board. It also gives us interaction points, and it gives locations of things that we can do. I actually really like this app already, because you can see he was talking about fog that's moving through, and you can see fog actually moving through the iPad screen as well, which is pretty cool.
I wonder if eventually that's going to be like more encumbered or stuff, like as the game increases.
Yeah.
We'll see. Okay.
And as we take our turns, we'll be passing rounds throughout the game, and we can start anywhere around this area. You can place your person somewhere else if you prefer, but just kind of set you there, and I'll let, well, technically I have to go first because my initiative is a 4.
Should we go ahead and set our initiative and talk about this track?
We'll do that when we get to a combat, because it's very specific. When we're not in combat, it's just flipping pieces over. So
the initiative track's actually really, really cool.
It's extremely cool. So I would like to go ahead and I'm just going to move over here and interact with this first space, which was told in here is actually a guard, that Hawthorn guard. So we'll just click on the little piece and say, do you want to interact with this guy?
Do you want to interact with the point guard marker? Yes. Dialogue. The Hawthorn point guard rolls his eyes at you wearily. Action. You can use a gold coin to bribe him,
Which we don't have any gold coins.
or you have a charisma test. Ask if he has any idea of what may have happened.
You know, I'm pretty decent at charisma, so I'm going to go ahead and do that.
Comment down below if you disagree.
I'm very handsome. In this game, everything is done with dice. There's different colors of dice. Yellow is the least effective, moving up to orange, and then red for most of the checks. I have an orange and a yellow, so I feel pretty good about that. Go ahead and do it.
Okay.
And it will say...
Charisma test. Throw the dice of successes and indicate the result of the table. Will you have enough to overcome the test?
Okay.
So, explain these dice here.
Yes. So this was a terrible roll. I'm feeling less charismatic already. There are different types of things that can happen here. There are successes which are filled in stars. That is a complete success. Obviously, there's double successes and things like that. This one here is a hollow success. You can also see it here. It's not filled in all the way. There are certain activities and actions that will happen with a hollowed success. So you could trade it in as a trigger. These are specific triggers. So there's a hollow trigger and a regular trigger, a successful trigger, so to speak. Again, there are actions that will correspond with those types of triggers.
Those chain to other special abilities, but what you're saying is you got absolutely...
Well, the good news is I do have one trigger, so I can use my special ability here, which allows me to turn one of these filled in exclamation points triggers into a success. So I got one.
Okay.
I got one.
That might be all you need. After all,
it's possible.
You're very handsome.
I'm very handsome.
Yeah, remarkably so.
Incredibly, amazingly handsome.
Okay. Dialogue. The guard tells you some rumors about the abduction of children hereabouts, but none seem to make any sense. Declaring himself too tired for this fool's errand, he eventually leaves you to your investigation.
That's great. We learned so much from that. I
feel like you learned a lot.
A lot.
Mark a clue space in the mission bag.
So we don't actually have a mission log currently, but we'll just remember that one.
Yeah. Remove the marker from the point guard. That is no longer a point.
He ran away.
Of interest.
That kind of stuff.
I think I'm going to go explore this chest up here, if you don't mind.
Great.
Can I move up to that location?
At the beginning of your turn, you have the ability, if there's no enemies around you, you can use a full move action and it doesn't cost you anything.
Okay.
So you can do that. And now...
Full move, swinging over there. My full move is technically a 3.
Yep.
So I would like to be on the lower side of that, actually. Not
totally
the
fair.
Upper side. Interaction. Do you want to interact with the chest? One marker.
Yes.
Yes, I do. Dialogue.
This abandoned chest is secured with a rusty padlock.
You got to say it more dramatically.
This rusty padlock is secured on the abandoned chest.
There we are. Action. Ability test, pick the lock, or strength test, break the lock. Now, for myself...
Yeah, so your agility is pretty not great.
Yeah.
Your strength, on the other hand, 3 orange dice is probably amazing.
I'm pretty strong. So I'm going to go ahead and do a break the lock test.
Okay.
Strength, we're going to show you how this is actually done.
Yeah, that's way better
than mine.
That is
absolutely no successes.
That's actually 2 successes for sure.
Are they filled in?
Yeah, those are both filled in.
Oh,
so
sweet.
2 successes, and then you got 2 triggers. Do you have anything in here that would allow you to turn 2 triggers into something?
I could turn 2 triggers into a defense, but I don't need to do that
immediately.
Outside of that, I don't know that I have anything that immediately lets me manipulate triggers.
Okay.
I have a shield and a trigger to add 2 successes and remove 1 from my roll.
Yeah,
but again,
when you're doing an attack. Sure. So on this particular case...
I was attacking the rusty padlock, to be fair.
You were, in a way.
Okay.
2 successes.
2. Mm-hmm. And that's because these are filled, whereas some of these are hollow.
Correct.
Gotcha. Okay. Check.
With considered application of force, the padlock breaks and the chest opens.
If I say so myself, I think we've had a successful game so far.
So far, so good.
What am I going to get? Come on. You obtain the object gold coins.
Gold
You're saying
coins.
I could have bribed the...
Here's a gold coin for you.
Perfect.
Yes.
All right. You may use this card as a wild card. It counts as any ingredient during the item creation phase in Hawthorn Point. Discard this card. You cannot use more than 1 coin in the creation of it. You're telling me I can't just jingle my pockets and get anything I want? You obtain the object bandages.
Bandages.
I will also take bandages. First aid, heal up to 2 from your character or an adjacent character. Not healing from an adjacent character. That's for sure.
I got
so
one
far,
success.
your wizard's useless.
Yeah.
Go ahead and remove the chest marker.
Okay.
And that is the round.
Yes, so now because we've both acted, we will hold this button down, and it will move to round number 2.
Okay. Now, if there were other things happening on the board here,
Oh, yes.
there's a chance that could progress.
1,000% things can happen.
Are you going to move down to that other sign there? Can you even reach it?
So my movement is 3, which means that I could head that direction, and you only have to be adjacent to something that you want to inspect.
Diagonal would be adjacent?
Yeah, but I think what I'm going to do here is go ahead and run. There, we'll do that. And then I would like to interact with this piece here. So do we want to interact with the Fight Remains marker?
Okay. The remains left by the squabble are still on the street. The nauseating stench of dead flesh greets you as you get closer.
That's pretty gross.
Reaction or action. Perception test. Investigate the remains. What's your perception level?
My perception is about less good than my charisma. So it'll be entertaining.
Ooh,
So
one success.
that is 2 successes because I will turn one of those filled in triggers into a success. So 2. That's not bad.
Nope.
I could deal with that.
Check. The corpse is bent and twisted into an unnatural position, and the stench turns your stomach as you approach. The flesh is covered with gashes, and some bones seem to have been removed and used to pin the body to the groove.
Yeah, that's gross.
They took the bone, and they're like, this femur is going to make a great thing to leave this body
Smash.
here. Amazing. That is very, very cruel.
Pretty cruel.
No tracks can be seen nearby, just a smear of blood across the wall, as if the body had been scraped across the bricks before being embedded into the ground.
Fantastic.
Indeed, this is a grim sight.
That's pretty gross. So we'll have another clue on our
Mark a clue in the
mission
mission log. And go ahead and...
Now, who was the person who did this? Because, if you don't roll well enough, bad things can happen.
You're going to vomit.
Probably. I'm already kind of vomiting.
Dialogue. You feel something freezing to the touch. Something all too familiar. You recognize the unmistakable signs of the tinge attached to parts of the body. You withdraw your hand immediately, but say nothing. You know what I think we need?
Yes.
We need more context as to who... Who's your character's name?
Nera.
Who Nera is. I think this is you right here.
That is, yes.
Woohoo! Now, I assume these personal dialogues would be things that, you kind of know yourself.
Yeah.
Because that's a hint that I'm not really supposed to have more divination on.
That's true. When the fog began to encroach upon Hawthorn Point, the hegemony decided to reinforce their interest in the city, ordering the faculty of magic to increase its presence there. Of all the races living under hegemony's rule, the elves of the Facility of Magic were the best candidates to uncover what was happening in the Hawthorn Point.
Or the dwarves, am I right?
I mean, you're kind of short. It's hard to see.
Well, my dwarf fans out there.
See up over the fence. Thus did the vulnerable institution dispatch Narajan Caldrail, while his twin sister Nera remained behind. Almost 400 years old, Nera considered herself the life of adventure long done and dusted, and was contented to dedicate all the rest of her days to her books. Fate, however, had other ideas. After the armistice, Naragon returned to Arcadia. Nera at once saw that her twin was not his old self. It was subtle, but she could sense it. Something had changed. Naragon spoke of a revelation that he'd had while in a sail. He said that the truth was being hidden from them and that sooner or later Nera would realize the same. After a heated discussion, Naragon left for Hawthorn Point once again, despite Nera's protestations. Soon afterwards, Nera began having nightmares and even waking visions that convinced her that her brother was in great danger. Voices whispered in her ear like cold winter's breeze, bringing half-hearted messages that made Nera shudder. She could not wait idly for news of her brother, so she gritted her teeth and went to find him. Nera would have never willingly left Arcadia had it not been for Naragon. She cursed his name every day of the 2-week voyage to Assail. When she reached Hawthorn Point, she introduced herself to the Hegemon ambassador, making sure to follow the proper protocols before taking the winding streets to find Naragon. But he was gone. Indeed, some said that he'd ventured into the fog as part of an ill-fated expedition and had never returned. Neyra soon realized that several adventuring companies were being organized to explore the outskirts of Hawthorn Point, in the region once consumed by the fog. Unfortunately for Neyra, these groups comprised diverse explorers, including Fioidites and Simeonian elves. Against her better judgment, Neyra now seeks to join such a group in order to find some clues to her brother's whereabouts, though overcoming ancient enmities may prove harder than she thought.
Cool. All right. Shall we continue?
Something else to mention is that the tinge is something that when my character does spells, they will get scars, this goop basically that goes on them, and if I can't clean it off fast enough, I will have long-lasting repercussions from the tinge.
Okay, so there's magic there. Let's see here. Instruction: the character remains stunned.
So I get a stun token.
Okay.
So at the end of my turn, I'll have a chance to try to get that taken care of.
All right. Remove the marker
Okay.
of the fight remains. Dialogue. You realize that you are completely alone. The street is silent save for a gust of wind that whistles through the alleyways. The long shadows cast by the sun lengthen, unfortunately, so shifting too quickly for your liking. A moment later, they are no longer shadows at all. Dark, slouched forms stand before you. Silent. Did you see one? I saw dust. Silent and menacing. One points a gnarled finger at you, and then, as one, they shamble forward. I like the little ambient fog that's kind of moving over
cool.
top of everything. Place tile 105 as indicated. Okay?
Okay.
What else do we have? Place the marker beggar as indicated.
Okay.
Place the marker chest 2 as indicated. Not that I'm going to go get the chest immediately. Place the marker closed door as indicated. Deploy one marked unit space C of tiles, 403, or adjacent spaces.
We'll put that here.
Okay.
There we go.
Deploy one husk unit in space D of tile 103 or adjacent spaces.
Hold on one second. Okay. All right.
You've hidden the minis too far away.
Husk in section
Bring
D.
minis closer.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
There was a mask too, right?
There was a
mask and husk.
I believe
okay.
so. I believe
All
so.
right. Okay. So that was my turn. Apparently.
Yeah.
Oh,
No.
and I need to try to get rid of this stunned here. So I need to take a strength check, which is just fabulous because I need to do 2 to get rid of it, I believe, and I only have 1 die. So that's just great. Let's see how that rolls away. Hey!
You actually got it.
I actually got it. That's
Nice.
amazing. Amazing.
Grumble, grumble, grumble.
So good.
Look at him succeed.
So good at that successions.
Now, how far am I able actually to move here? Because my base movement's going to be 3, but I think I can do a run action.
You can
correct?
do a run, yeah, so that would be a total of 6 movement.
Okay, which I'm going to go ahead and do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Okay.
Moving into the room. And I think that's the cycle of the turn.
That is the cycle of the turn, yes.
Okay.
Okay. So, let's see here. I'm going to go talk to the beggar. I feel like that's probably a good thing for us to do.
Okay.
So I've got 1, 2, and 3, and I'm adjacent to the beggar with diagonal stuff here, so let's see what happens.
Do you interact with the beggar marker? Yes. Dialogue. As you approach the beggar, he looks up with expectant, as if a somewhat addled smile. You notice his face is burnt scar. I'm going to try this again.
Okay.
As you
Take
approach the beggar, he looks up with an expectant, if somewhat addled smile. You notice his face is burnt, scarred, making him look older than he really is. You know what's distracting me?
It's the folks outside.
There's a lawnmower outside.
Yeah. Those dang lawnmower
So if you can hear a lot, because we've got great mics in this room, which means you also can hear said lawnmower. Continue.
Yeah.
I don't know what people mow their lawn at
It's
2 a.m.
crazy.
on a Thursday.
So weird.
Very weird.
Yeah.
Use a gold coin to give him alms, or do not give him any alms. Now, are you allowed to use my gold coin?
So it's our gold coin.
So can I fling this gold coin to you and you can, like, hand it to him?
Yes. Because technically we have the ability to trade stuff as long as we're adjacent to each other.
I selfishly pocket the gold coin.
You are really...
But we're not adjacent to each other.
Yeah. Look, I can be like, hey, can I have that coin? And you'd be like, what coin? Is that what you're going to do? You're such a dwarf. You just keeping all the riches to yourself?
Totally your call.
All right, fine. Don't give him any alms, because we don't care about poor people.
With a thunderous boom, and the door behind you explodes into a myriad of pieces, and the building begins to crumble, debris toppling into the street. There are cries of alarm, and townsfolk flee in terror. I'm sorry we didn't give him a coin.
You probably should have let us use that coin.
Maybe. Then comes another cry, a scream that no human throat could produce. From the dust cloud, a smoking tendril shoots towards the beggar, arrow straight. Someone's going to give him a coin. That's nice. It wraps around his ankle, yanking him upwards before dashing his skull violently against the wall.
It was a wasted coin, apparently.
There's a coin inside of his head, apparently.
They're just shaking him.
We'll find it.
Shaking it clear.
The coin out, yeah. Mm-hmm. The tendril sweeps the floor with the beggar's corpse, finally throwing him upwards with such force that the body lands on a nearby roof, where it gets caught up in the guttering. The tendril retreats, and now you see its source. I'm gonna be honest. I'm glad we didn't give him a coin, because then my coin would be out of reach on top of a building.
Yeah, it would be bad.
It'd be very inconvenient.
Yeah.
It'd be miserable. A large unnatural creature steps down from the rubble, its long gnarled body terminating in a cluster of tail-like tendrils, twitching and writhing, dripping with scarlet ichor and hissing with smoke. The thing's head is eyeless, its skull divided in twain by a huge maw, gnashing hungrily with 3 rows of razor-sharp teeth. If you've never said the word maw before, go ahead and give that a feel on your lips. Maw is one of the funnest words to say. Because it is, you do what I'm, like, as you say maw, you're making the maw. Because a maw is like a big gaping mouth, right? Like a chewing tendril. Yeah. And you're like, I'm going to eat you with my maw. You see? It's fun. Yeah, I like it. Yeah, it's a good word.
Very nice word.
It's a good word. Unlike silky. I'm not a big fan of the word silky.
I like beverage.
You're a beverage?
It's such a nice beverage. It just rolls off beverage.
Hey, should we do anything about that tendril creature or the dripping corpse of the homeless man we neglected to give charity to?
I don't know. Getting kind of thirsty, though. How about a nice beverage?
Oh, I could put it in my maw.
Oh.
All right. Remove the beggar marker. Yeah, seems reasonable. Mm-hmm. Remove the marker of the closed door. Yeah, also seems reasonable.
There's no marker on the door?
Place a marker corpse as indicated.
Oh, good. That seems fair, you know?
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, reasonable, honestly. Place the event marker 1 in position 9 of the initiative track. Event marker 1 in position 9 of the initiative track.
Okay. So set that in position number 9 over there.
Okay.
Then go ahead and hit the next one.
Deploy 1 Kalepeth in the spaces closest to the special interaction marker closed door.
Kip leech.
Hi! Oh, a kip leech.
Yeah, it's a kip leech.
That's terrifying.
Should we talk about the kip leech? Because I feel like we should probably talk about the kip leech.
He's very ugly.
Yeah. Yeah, the kip leech, it applies stun a whole bunch of times.
Okay.
It does lots of damage very quickly.
Perfect.
And it is also got a following here of husks and the marked. And husks make everybody stunned. And the marked also stun people too. So we're just going to be stunned a whole bunch. This is a very stunning situation.
Now, what is the special interaction marker? Is it the 2?
It is 2, yes.
Okay, so the kip leech is here then. I love that for it.
That is just less good for me.
I love that. I love that for it. It is blocking my way to the treasure chest.
You technically could sneak by, but you won't have free movement because there is actually a kip leech next to you. So you kind of have to deal with it too.
I'm going to murder it, then I'm going to get the treasure chest. Okay.
All right. So this is when we're going to start our actual our play here with our new initiative tracks. We should probably talk about that.
Sure.
So the way that this initiative track works is very unique, and I've never seen anything like it before, frankly. You take your initiative marker and you set it down on whatever your initiative track is, but the good news is the initiatives of all of the bad guys start first, and I'll explain why that's important. So we've got the marked here who's going to go down on number 4. we've got the husks that are going to go down on number 5, and we have the kip bleach that's going to go down on number 3.
Okay.
And now I'm going down on number 4, so on top of the marked, and then you're going down on number 5 on top.
So I'm a little bit slower than you are.
A little bit. That's your short legs. That's really what it boils down to. Now the way that this works is the pointer there, the arrow, is going to continue to move until it finds people, and then those people will get to do both of their actions, or their action, whatever you want to call it, and then after that point, once you've done your turn, then you are going to advance yourself along the initiative track again, whatever your number is, plus or minus, because you may have done some things to make things happen. And you're going to continue to do that all the way around until you get to the 10. And once you've done the 10 area, a new turn starts, or a new round starts. We'll have to actually tick up one more round. But we'll have multiple turns within a round, which I think is actually a great way to do it.
Okay. So, this is going to start.
It is going to start.
And you're telling me the kip leech is going to...
Well, he's so big.
Immediately activate.
He's immediately going to activate, yeah. Mm-hmm. And the good news is here on the side we'll have the ability to take a look at what the kip leech does. I really feel like it would be great if the kip leech wasn't near me.
Okay.
But thankfully, the kip leech, because he's only 1 to 4 spaces away from either of us, he's going to go after the one who has the highest vitality.
Oh, great.
Jesse, what is your vitality?
I believe my vitality is 5, possibly?
It's going to be 6, that little heart one right there.
Right.
Yeah. My vitality is only a 4, so I'm squishy. So he's going to go after you. And as you can see here under his action screen, he has number 1, he's going to attack. Then number 2, he's going to attack again. And then he's always going to continue to add 1 success to each of his attack rolls.
Great.
And then at the end of his activation, the kip leech will advance its initiative token 4 positions instead of 3. So the good news is he doesn't stay at 3.
I'm not a big fan of him.
Yeah. Now, what's less fanish for you is that he's going to roll 2 of the highest level dice possible. Would you like for me to roll those, or do you want to roll
Yeah, you can go ahead and roll those.
Okay, sounds good.
Less of a fan, honestly.
So the good news is he did get 1 hollow success and just 1 regular success. So if we look here, do you see anything with hollow successes as an action?
So I don't see any hollow triggers.
Okay, so that's good. Now, how about any trigger triggers?
Exclamation mark trigger. Apply stunned to the target.
So, okay, so you're stunned. Yeah, and you'll have a chance to get rid of that here in a little bit. And the stun status, just so that you're aware, you're going to remove 1 success from each attack roll that you make at the end of your activation. So it's only attacks, it's not on defenses, which is a good thing for you.
Okay.
So right now he has 1 damage that he's doing to you, but technically 2 because we're adding a damage to it. So now you're going to defend, which is a blue die and a black die.
No, it's a blue die because I'm wearing my armor, black die because that's my general defense ability. I have 1 shield.
But that is a hollow shield.
I have 1 hollow shield.
That you can turn into a full shield, right?
Which I can turn into my full shield because of my medium armor. And then I have 2 exclamations. So when you have a face-to-face roll, you gain the switch, add 1 shield to your roll.
So you blocked both of those points that came to you.
Awesome.
So nothing happens to you other than he rung your bell a little bit, that's all.
Sounds like a good result.
That's good. So now let's do it again.
Okay.
Okay.
Can handle it again.
That's 3 successes.
Great. Because I'm really able to... I will be blocking 2 of them, which means I'm going to be taking a damage.
Fantastic.
So I'll pop that over here.
There you go, and that is his turn. And now you're gonna take his marker and you're gonna move him 4 spaces forward, so he'll end on the 7.
Now the reason this is cool is because you can manipulate this track even more. So it creates, it's like this pattern sequential thing that to me feels like it has more movement than just like a line of cards.
Absolutely.
Like the way that they're stacked, the way they hierarchy off of each other. I like this little track. I'd like to see more games implement it.
All right, so now that part is done. So now it's my turn because I'm on top of that particular stack there at number 4. And now we'll have the opportunity to really see what we do with these energy cubes. So you only have 3 energy cubes that you can use each turn. And on your actual track here, there are highlighted bars, and that means those are the minimum amount of energy cubes you have to use to be able to do that particular action. There are 5 different ones that you can choose from. Each one has symbology along the way. Now, one of the things that I really want to do is try to get away. Because I'm very afraid for myself and the things that are around me.
Well, and the homeless guy, you want to keep him alive.
I mean, he's kind of hanging from the gutter, though. probably not so much alive. We could have given him that money. He may not have died. He could have run away and lived his whole life with that piece of gold.
Maybe.
Unfortunately, I don't really have a way to get away. That's very, very, very unfortunate. So I think what I'm going to go ahead and do is just rely on you to be great at the job that you have.
I'm really good at the job of murder things.
Yeah, and I'm gonna go ahead and use this here. So I have to place my dark energy, and every time I place dark energy, I get one of these bad luck things that happen to me. It's very unfortunate that I get.
That's
one of
the
those.
goop?
That's the goop. Yep. And the more goop I have, when we're finished with the scenario, we would go back to the town, and I would need to get rid of all that goop. Otherwise, I will have lasting effects that stay with me for the remainder of the campaign.
That's the magic you're dying.
Yes, magic is very important. So doing the rest of this, I can upgrade one of my die, and then I can, with this last little bit here, I will advance my initiative track token once, but all the enemies that are adjacent to this particular space would suffer an extra, so I'm not going to use that one. I don't feel like I need to do that. So I'm just going to do these two here. So with I'm going to cast a spell using my staff, but I get to upgrade one of my dice, so that's fantastic. So we'll see what happens here. Still so good at what I do.
Mm-hmm.
So very good at it that I got
Nothing.
I got one.
Nothing. Really.
I got one.
Kind of
I
nothing.
turned the trigger. It's one. So I pew pew him for one. Now let's see if he's able to block. So he's got magic die that he's going to roll plus his defense there. So, he only actually gets to use the magic die because he's just defending the magic. Because I shot him with magic. Yep.
The blue?
Just the blue. So it looks like he defended.
Yeah.
And
he's going to apply stun to you.
kind of like boom, and then stun me at the same time. That's good. That's good. I still have one energy cube left, so I could run away again. But yeah, no, I'm just gonna that'll end my turn. So now I'm gonna try to get rid of this stunned effect, and we will do a strength test. And remember, I'm so good at strength, and I've got to get a 2. Yeah, and I didn't
Got a 1.
I didn't even get a 1 because that's a hollow trigger. So
Got a 1, yeah.
I'm still stunned.
A 1-ish.
Very good.
There
at my
are hollow triggers here
stunners.
too, aren't there?
Yeah, there are.
Okay, so your token's then going to move forward.
Yep, more four spaces.
All right, you're on 8.
Yeah.
That darn lawnmower.
Yep. And now we're going to be
Still out there.
talking about the marked. So the marked, we're going to look and see what they're doing. Now they're all the way over here. The marked, they have their behavior. So they are more than 4 spaces away. So they're going to approach, and their movement speed is 2. So they're going to go 4 spaces. So 1, 2, 3, 4.
Perfect.
And then that ends their turn.
Okay. Then they're moving forward 4 as well.
That is correct.
So they're now on top of you.
That is right. So the next turn, they'll actually go before me instead of me going before them.
Now I am going. And I would like to attack, I believe. So I'm going to use my action cubes.
Okay.
I'm going to slot here, here, and here.
Okay.
So if I succeed, I'll be applying a stun, and I'll be adding a damage to my attack.
Great.
I'm then going to attack. So I'm going to be rolling 2 blue and a red, because I have my
Orange.
axe. Oh, 2, yep. I have my axe and my medium armor, so those 2 will combine to create my powerful attack.
Yes.
And that looks like a great attack.
Yeah.
There.
So you got, you did get a shield and a.
Yeah, so I can add 2 hits, remove 1 shield from your roll.
So that's 2 hits. It's
Okay.
good to know. Okay.
And then beyond that,
Did you get anything over there? No, not so
No.
much. Yeah. Okay. So that's 2 hits, and then you added with an energy cube, right? You added an extra hit.
I did, yeah. So 3
Good.
hits total coming forward.
All right. So the bad news is, don't forget you're stunned, so you're going to lose one of those successes. So it only goes through as 2 hits.
2 hits coming through. Great.
Yep.
Perfect.
And then he's going to roll his defense dice here. He's just squishy.
Missing.
And he definitely completely misses. So both of those actually will go through to him.
Perfect.
So that's fantastic.
So 2 out of 15 that we need to peel
we're
off of him.
we're
He
working
is
on
going
it.
to be stunned, though. I am applying a stun token to him.
You are. Okay, fantastic.
Which is-
so that's
I figured would be helpful.
significantly better. Now, the good news is it's your opportunity to remove stun, so you will take a strength roll, and again, that's those 3 orange dice.
Okay.
So go ahead and roll those bad boys.
So this is once per round, reduce your health value by 1 until the end of your activation. What's this mean here?
Reduce your initiative.
Initiative value by 1.
Yep.
Oh. I want to use that.
It is a consumable, I believe.
Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and spend that
Okay.
to drop my initiative back.
Okay.
Because then I'll go 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm still. Never mind.
But you would act before that event token happens.
That's true.
So
That's true.
You'd still get to
I will still do
act
that.
there.
I'll
Yep.
drop back there. Okay, and yeah, I think this is a specialty item. Reduce your until the end of. This is once per round, so I think I can use this more than one time, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. This is my item.
Perfect.
It's like my insignia.
Okay. So now
okay.
roll those 3 for their strength test. You need to get 2 successes. You got
That
1.
That will work. That'll
That's-
definitely. There's definitely a way to make that work. That'll.
That's definitely just a 1. So still stunned.
Huzzah!
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Now you'll move your initiative track forward 5. So you will act before that piece does,
Which might
is
be important.
Very cool. Yep.
And now the ghoul is going to go.
The husks. Yes. So less great on the husks.
Behavior with the husks. They're going to be going approach.
Yep.
What's their range?
Their range is also 2, so they're going to go
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4.
All right, and they're going to go forward 5 as well.
5. Yes.
So they're actually going beyond now. Now we're getting back to the big squishy beast. The
Yes.
marked.
Not the
No,
marked. The
marked.
Kiplich.
The Kiplich. And their behavior is going to be, once again, to attack the
you.
heck out of me. Good.
Yes.
I'm prepared for it.
That's fabulous. So they're going to roll 2 of those red die here, and that is 3 successes.
That's
However,
4 successes.
technically 4, but they're also stunned, so it's only 3.
I don't know that I like that.
That is
Oh.
significantly less good for you.
Oh, no.
That's very very not so great.
Oh, no. That's 3 damage coming my way.
That isn't one. Oh, that's a
Yeah,
hollow.
that's 3 damage coming my
3
way.
damage coming your
The
way.
good news is
less
I am
good.
now not the person with the least or the most health. So now you're being attacked.
That is less.
That's really good
significantly less good. Don't you have some bandages or something?
news. I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I got them.
So 3 again.
Oh, good roll.
To me,
Oh,
yeah.
good roll.
Less good.
You might need to defend yourself.
I don't actually have any defense.
Okay.
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 So I'm just gonna take all 3 of those.
No.
So good. And now can I have 3, please?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
There's actually a 3 in the.
Would you prefer the 3?
button? Yeah.
I like the pile of blood.
Yeah. I like the 1 solid blood piece.
You don't have much health left.
I have only 1, as a matter of fact, health left.
I just want to clarify that you're in trouble.
Yeah. But I'm not the one with the least amount of health now.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Yes.
Now, this marked is going to be going.
So hit the OK.
X out. Marked one is going. Behavior. He's going to be range 2 to 3 from me. He's going to...
Assault, which means he's going to appear anywhere next to you. So where would we like him to
right
be?
in front of me.
Right in front of you.
Yes.
Okay.
In case that blocks a path of the other one.
That would be great. Yes.
Assault, then he's going to attack. I'm going to be rolling my defense still, and I'm going to... Can I discard this at any point? First aid. This is a quick action.
Yes.
Little arrow there. I'm going to heal 2 health off myself with...
Oh, it's actually an action. So you have to use it on your turn. Darn it. Sorry.
All right.
Okay, so he's only rolling 1, but he does have an automatic success. So he's got 2 on you.
Okay. What happens when I get knocked out?
Oh, you're dead?
Oh,
You're unconscious? You have no more health left?
definitely unconscious.
That is less good. Okay, so you're going to remove all of your stuff. As far as that goes, and yeah, all those things come off. It's great. And now I could spend a turn to try and get you.
That'd be great.
Yeah. That's less great. It's less great. So you're now laying down,
Okay.
and people still can't be in the space where you're at.
Perfect.
But
So I'm helpful.
it's so blockingly helpful. Yes.
I'm still being helpful.
So very helpful. Yes. The good news is that there's just 1 Kiplich, a marked, and a husk in a way. So It's very good.
That sounds great.
So now he's done. So let's advance him 4 spaces, please, on the initiative track.
Yeah, I have a bad feeling about this.
I do as well.
1, 2, 3, 4. Do I heal back up at all on my turn, on my activation again?
No.
No, you got to heal me?
The only way for you to come back is for me to use some sort of like a revive potion.
Do you have that?
I don't have any of those.
Could you go use my own bandages?
Maybe.
You go pick them up off me and bandage me, right?
I mean, it's possible.
Do it.
It's possible.
Come lift my body.
Okay. So I think you actually have to have a revive. You have to do a revive action, and I don't have said revive
just
action.
Just the bandages for sure.
Yeah. So we're gonna go ahead and see what happens. I'm not moving.
Okay.
I'm just gonna roll and assume that you're getting back up, because I couldn't hear you when you couldn't hear me when I asked you for that coin, and then I can't hear your body gurgling on the ground right now.
Okay.
From the...
How'd you know how to describe it as gurgling?
Oh, I don't know. I just la 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 la. That's kind of how it works, I think.
This is about the homeless guy.
It is about the homeless guy. It's about the money, really. If you just given him the money, maybe we wouldn't be in this position.
I doubt that.
This kit bleach is literally right there.
I doubt that.
Okay, so I really need to do better than I did the last time.
This is definitely not one of those games that has variable alternative pathways where different decisions you make impact what has happened. I'm pretty sure death was the only answer, the only option.
Highly likely, yes.
Going forward.
So I'm going to go ahead and put down one of my special balls right here.
Oh, I love that.
And the special ball is really nice. It slows our friend here, which is great. So that will help me out a little bit, especially since he is stunned and slowed now. And it will also keep that person from hitting me, hopefully, in the future. And I'm going to go ahead and attack again with my really snazzy, amazing casting spell here, because I've, again, upgraded my die. And I do have to go up 1 on the initiative tracker as well. So
That's a good roll.
Yeah. So that's 1 success.
Feel confident about that.
Super good on the success there. That's 1. Okay. So let's see if he defends against the magic. So he's going to roll that blue die. And of course he's going to defend. Full block.
Yeah.
Yep. And he's going to stun me.
Oh yeah.
Yep. And technically I'm still stunned, so I didn't even get that 1 success through there even anyway. Really?
We're about to be annihilated.
I feel like we're that's very bad. Okay, so that was my really effective turn. Super effective turn. And now we're gonna move my initiative tracker 5 spaces. Yep. And now it would have been your turn, but you're no longer on the initiative board. So the good news is this event is gonna happen, and hopefully it'll save our bacon. I don't feel like it's going to save our bacon, though.
Let's see what it is.
Okay. There should be event turn 9. Yep.
The event must be activated in turn 9. Are you already in this turn? The game's like, how'd you survive this far?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Your blows have no discernible effect.
All right, app. My blows had some discernible effect. There's 2 blood on them.
So mine didn't.
Yours had none.
I'm the only one alive at this point, so the app is like, yeah, we know.
Okay.
We know.
Okay.
And now the beast pounds the ground, causing great cracks to open across the cobbled street. The beast's fleshy body twists and turns as it suddenly leaps high into the air, perching nimbly in a nearby rooftop. Its blood-dripping tendrils shoot towards you, catching your ankles and yanking you to the floor. I've
seen this happen to a homeless man once.
I was about to say, I feel like a homeless person right now. This is not going to be good. For a moment, you fear that you will share the poor beggar's fate.
Yep.
Yet the creature freezes. Its breathing becomes heavier. Its eyeless head looks up at you, as if listening for something. The tendrils release you and recoil the monster's hideous form. All you can do is watch as the creature roars, limbs creaking and disjointing, shrinking to a finger's width. Then, almost formless, the creature slips into the impossibly small crack in the wall, leaving behind nothing but a bloody smear and an unbearable stench of burnt flesh. One by one you stand, not entirely sure of what that thing was or whence it came, let alone why it left so suddenly. Although grateful of having survived the encounter, you are left with even more questions.
Survived is questionable on my end, but
So all of these
I'll
left.
take it.
Yep.
I think that went well.
Extremely well.
Yeah, I think that went well.
Extremely well. So I'm going to go ahead and bring you back. We'll
Okay.
I'll have rummaged through your things, found your gold coin, and used your bandages.
You stole my gold coin and used my bandages?
You didn't have a gold coin, remember, Jesse?
Never had gold coin.
No such thing as gold
Never.
coins.
So I would have healed 2.
So now you'd be back to health. Yeah, you
Back to full health
Well,
or-
no, let's do bandages. You'll be back to
yeah,
2.
I'll be back to. I'll be back with 4 damage.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go explore said treasure chest.
Sounds like a plan.
Number 2,
Number 2.
interact. Yes, I do. It's what I've wanted from the beginning. You just put a big oblong creature in my face.
This sturdy chest is made of mahogany, studded with metal rivets. The lock does not look like it can be easily opened.
Oh, I've been told that before by a rusty lock.
Would you like to use an agility to pick the lock?
Strike test, breaking the
Straight
heck out of the
fist.
log.
There we go.
All the orange. Smashing through with a 1, 2, 2 successes.
2 successes. Smashing 2 successes. The wood is more fragile than you thought. The splinters underneath its force. However, the heavy blow activates a hidden mechanism, causing a plume of yellow dust to burst against your face.
Anthrax.
You reel away, clasping at your burning skin. When the pain subsides, you inspect the chest's contents. You wonder whether brute strength is always the best solution.
It is. I don't wonder that long.
You suffer 1 wound.
Great, I've got those to spare.
If your strength value is not at least 3 dice, you suffer 1 wound extra. So thankfully,
We're good.
you're good. That could have been very bad for you. You obtained the object gold coin.
Oh.
Hey, look! Your gold coin. It just magically ended up in the chest.
I found it convenient.
So good. And you obtained the object balm.
Oh, does balm let me soothe my wounds? Reduce your initiative value by 1 until the end of your activation. That's kind of cool. I like that.
And remove the chest. Okay. Now,
Any interest in the number 2 marker there?
why am I the one who investigates all the corpses? I feel like that is the last thing that I should be doing. I kind of almost threw up the first time.
I remember.
The beggar's body has been left bloodied and broken.
You notice something shining beneath his torn, ragged shirt. It's a pendant. And even at first glance, you feel that it is no ordinary trinket.
Nice.
The moment your hands touch it, you feel somehow better. The oval stone set within the pendant center casts a timid glow like that of a faraway star. It fills you with a feeling of tranquility. Perhaps the alchemist or blacksmith might know something more about this strange pendant. You find the Haddop necklace.
Haddop necklace. I don't see that in here, so
Move
it's
the
probably
corpse.
something else out there.
Okay.
All right. Your exertions started to take their toll. The fatigue wears at you. Maybe you've had enough excitement for one day. It would be wise to return to the brave Parsley to get some rest and focus your mind. At least you've learned one thing today. Bizarre things are happening in Hawthorn Point.
That's fair. That's fair. Okay.
And that was our
That's
mission.
the mission we have.
That was our mission.
All right. I think there's some cool things going on here.
I
First
think
off,
there's some very cool things.
I love the initiative track.
It is amazing. It's such a unique
I like
experience.
manipulating the initiative track as well. Like the fact that I now have my company emblem and the balm means that in a key moment, I can actually initiate and like sequence stuff back. If I'd
Absolutely.
remained alive there, I might have been able to do a nice chunk of damage to him.
Yeah,
'Cause
if you'd have remained alive.
I could have hacked off like 1 tendril, maybe 7. I like the dice combinations.
Yep.
I like how the cards are kind of pairing together, so you're sort of solving your own problem. I also like that the abilities on these dice, the icons on these dice aren't just yes and no, aren't just like high and low.
I agree.
It's a combination of what application of this puzzle do you want to use. And as you get more abilities, these icons and the way you use these icons will also change. Because you might have a decision of 2 or 3 different things that you can activate, but you only get to choose one of those like disparate effects that you can use.
Exactly. And there are different monsters and things that you will face that will be able to use those different triggers and hollow successes in unique and varied ways. So.
You know the other thing that I'm liking so far?
What's that?
I like how gory and visceral this is. It is not apologizing for being dark.
Very not.
Which I think is appropriate to the IP. But also, I think it's something that a lot of dungeon crawls, in my experience, have shied away from.
Yeah.
Like, the manacled bones from the flesh of the human stuck into the ground to pin it to the ground.
That's a very cool visual
Or like
effect.
the old guy being ripped up, slung around against the wall, and then just thrown up onto a gutter.
Yep.
Like, I'm sorry, you don't get that. And if that's, like, if you're into Berserk or Kingdom Death or, like, those adjacent kind of darker fantasy things, this is like a high fantasy or like a medieval fantasy set in the realm of like magic and horrible things are happening, and it really means horrible things are happening.
For sure.
Cool.
I also like how, you know, there's a situation where your character is going to be changed by the things that you're doing. Like, I think it's really unique that mine, whenever you use this dark cube, every time I'm using it, I'm picking up this horror unless I put it in special places, and I've got to figure out some way to get rid of it by going to the town and taking care of it. There are ways to mitigate it through the things that I do, but I really like that effect. I also like the track here on the right with the energy actions. I think that's a very unique way to kind of regulate what you're allowed to do.
I'm curious to see if these like slot in and out, if you start manipulating them as the game goes or anything like that, like as you gain experience, or even get like another little adjacent one where it's like you have more options there.
Yeah.
I mean, the reality is, this is a little prototype, one little demo session. I think the biggest appeal for this game is going to be people that are, you know, thrilled and excited to see Warcrow coming onto the tabletop platform.
Yep.
Right now, I can say these 2 things. I think, based off of the IP and based off what they're doing in terms of applying it to the tabletop setting, the people that are coming from the video game world, the people that are coming from the digital space, are probably going to love this.
Yep.
A little bit of hybrid from the app that makes the game flow and the setup and everything a lot more accessible than if you had to learn the rulebook yourself and you had to like work your way through every single setup guide and everything.
Yep.
Combined with the fact that it still feels true to the story and it still feels gritty. Like I have some like actions and puzzle pieces here.
Yeah.
And I wasn't sucked into the app the entire time.
No, I think it used it enough and it progressed the story enough without you having to, like, I'm just looking here because this is the only thing that matters.
Yeah. And then for the people that don't know much about the IP, I think there's some compelling things going on here. I personally would really love to see more in terms of, and I typically am like that with prototypes. They gave me a taste. Right. They gave me enough that I would sit here and play the next scenario, or 2, or 3.
Yep.
And what happens there, and how the game develops, and where we start seeing our characters grow and upgrade, and the game progress, is something I'm not familiar with. I don't know those answers.
Right.
But I can tell you this, I would like to find out.
Yeah. It's a good base. It's a good place to start from, and I think there's a lot of really interesting places we can go from here.
Cool. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being here. We'll see you on the next video.
Absolutely.
Oh, and if you're brand new from the app, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below, especially if you want us to get a final copy of this as soon as physically possible and keep doing some story gameplays. We'll see ya. Bye.